Hello A&P students, my name is Eric Barn, and today I'm going to teach you guys a good way to remember all of your cell organelles and their functions. So, when I think of the cell, I like to think about it as a big hockey game. So, if you think of the cell as a big hockey game, the first thing we can identify is the cell membrane. So, the cell membrane is basically just going to be a protective wall for the cell, and it's going to be all around the perimeter. So, if we look at the picture here, it's just going to be the perimeter, aka the boards. So just the boards going all the way around. And that's going to be your cell membrane. So then the next thing we can identify is the cytoplasm. So I like to think of the cytoplasm as the ice in a hockey game, because the cytoplasm in the cell is just all the liquid that suspends all of your organelles. And the ice here is going to be the thing that just has all the players, the puck, everything on it. So again, the ice can be the cytoplasm. Then next, I like to think of the head coach as the nucleus, and this black dot right here is going to be the head coach. So the nucleus in the cell is going to generally just keep an eye on everything, make sure everything stays up and running. It's going to keep all the DNA, and that's exactly what the head coach is going to do as well. He's going to keep an eye on things, make sure the game's going smoothly, and just make sure nothing goes bad. So next, I like to think of the team captain as a ribosome. So say this guy right here is your team captain. Like you guys should have learned in lab, transcription is when you get an mRNA strand in the nucleus, and then you're going to take that mRNA, and if this captain is a ribosome, that mRNA is going to be shipped over to him, and notice how he's in the cytoplasm, aka the ice. So he's going to take that mRNA, and we're going to think of that mRNA as a play that the coach wants him to run. So he's going to think of the play in his mind, memorize it, and then he's going to go to all his teammates and tell them the play. And then once they run the play, and the play is completed, we're going to call that a completed protein. And that's what ribosomes do in the cell. They're going to take these strands of mRNA, they're going to read them, and then they're going to make a completed protein. So, next I like to think of the trainers as microtubules. The trainers are not depicted in this picture, but in a cell, the microtubules will provide structure to the cell. They basically just make sure that the cell won't collapse in on itself. And that's what the trainers do for the hockey team. They're going to make sure everyone's healthy and that the team doesn't fall apart because of injuries. Then, next, I like to think of refs as centrioles. So, if we go to this next slide. So during cell division, centrioles are going to line up at either end of the cell, and then they're going to project fibers into the middle of the cell and grab onto DNA, and then pull it apart. And that's what you can see. That's what you can see the refs doing in this picture. They're trying to pull these two players apart. So if you think of the refs' arms as like the refs' arms as the fibers, they're going to try to pull them away during cell division. Alright, then the next thing we can think of is the mitochondria. And I like to think of defensemen as the mitochondria, because these are going to be the big guys that are going around, and they're going to be the powerhouses, because you guys have probably heard the saying, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. The defensemen are going to be the powerhouse of the team, and they're going to be the big guys that are going around and hitting people and energizing their team. Then, the next thing I like to think of is the center and the winger. So the center is going to be the rough ER, and then the winger here is going to be the smooth ER. So the rough ER is going to synthesize proteins, and then the smooth ER is going to synthesize lipids. So let me get my pen here. So once we have those proteins and lipids, I like to think of them as pucks. So once they're synthesized, if they have the puck and they're skating towards the net and then they shoot it, so say they shoot the puck at the goalie, we're going to say the goalie is the Golgi apparatus. And the Golgi apparatus in the cell is going to package and ship proteins and lipids. So, if we depict the transporting of those lipids and proteins over to the goalie as a player shooting it, then the goalie, as the Golgi apparatus, is going to catch the puck, then it's going to package it, and then it's going to ship it over to one of his players. So say he passed it over to this guy. It would be packaged and then shipped over to his player. That was the last organelle I wanted to go over with you guys. So thank you guys for listening, and have a great rest of your week.